I am so tired of people making excuses for this terrible excuse for a person. Holy shit. Anytime anyone says anything negative about this guy, which is totally warranted, you hear people go, but he's a good guy. He really is. He's been through a lot. Don't you understand? No. Guts is indefensible. He is indefensible. He is a horrible human down to his core. There's nothing you can say about it. He's a terrible person. Now, being a terrible person doesn't automatically make you a terrible character or a terrible protagonist. No, of course not. But in this story, it does. And I'm going to explain. First off, let me explain why this guy is a terrible person indefensibly, and you cannot defend it. It can't be defended. He's a terrible person in every way, shape, or form. He's horrible. You can't defend it. So let's start off with the first terrible thing he did in the story, leaving the Hawks. Leaving the Hawks was terrible, not indefensible, but terrible. They were in a position that he felt like they were safe and didn't need him anymore. That's fair, but this is the world of Berserk. There are demons. There are monsters. He's seen Zod. They killed his whole army. This is not our world. And there's also a possibility that things could go in a negative route, which they did, blame it on Griffith if you want to. But there's a chance for his friends that he so desperately loves so deeply could be in danger. They could need him at some point. But what's more important to him? What's more important to Guts? Himself. What he wants. That's all that matters to him. That's all he cares about. So he leaves them. And then once he leaves them to go find and get what he wants, he does find it. He does get it. He doesn't come back afterwards. He doesn't check on them for a year.
Wow, man.
He probably wouldn't have checked on them for longer. The only reason he does is because some random guy says something negative about them, which if he gave even half a fuck about, he would have heard about them. He didn't even research. He didn't even check like, oh, I wonder how they're doing. It's been a year, man. Do you not check on your friends that you care about so deeply? Check on them to see if they're alive for over a year? You don't do that? You don't do that? But you can just say, oh, maybe he was just caught up in this tournament thing. His training. He didn't really think about them. Whatever. Fuck this guy, but whatever. Fine. After he finds out that his dear friends have been fighting for their lives for a year, Casca on the brink of losing her sanity and suicidal, what does he do? What does he say? He says, hey, as soon as we free Griffith and get them back on their feet, let's leave again. No, not because I have some reason, I want to go find myself. I've already found myself. I just want to leave. I don't have a reason. I just want to leave, me and you, Casca, the second in command who barely held this bitch together. I don't even know if Griffith is alive. I don't even know. I really don't know. He could be dead, but I don't care. Let's fuck for a couple of hours. And then let's leave the second we get this shit back, in order. Because that's what good friends. Do you guys understand that? How are you not understanding? This guy is such a fucking piece of shit. He doesn't care about anybody but himself and Casca, right? Okay. Maybe he cares about Casca and nobody else. All right. Maybe he's just like, I love her and I just want to be with her and alone and me and her married and live in the woods and shit like that. Okay, fine. Fair enough. Let's go to post-eclipse. Now, we all know what happens during the eclipse. It's a terrible thing, right? Casca is completely mentally destroyed to the point where she is licking soup from a bowl. I have to stretch that because do you know how mentally destroyed a human being has to be to lick soup from a bowl? Like, you have to be, unironically, you're not joking. You're seriously, this is how you eat your food. You have to be deranged. And she does it while it's hot. So it burns her. She is so far gone. And Guts knows this. Guts knows. And he says she's getting better slowly. But he knows. He stayed with her for about a month, right? Which is cool. Good for him. A month. Nice, man. So after he sees this, he sees her doing that. He rips off her shirt because she's about to burn herself. And he sees those big, voluptuous, excellently drawn masterfully drawn titties by Mira, and he just can't fucking help himself. He's like, fuck that shit. You know, you look good, bitch. I understand that you may be fucking out of your fucking mind, crazy, batshit insane, unable to make your own decisions, but I want some pussy right now. I want some pussy. Now, I know you guys are going to say, well, he's just trying to kiss her. Get the fuck out of here. This is not just a kiss, dude. This is not an attempt at just a kiss. Kiss my fucking ass, dude. Even if it was, that's also fucking weird. But no, he's not doing that. This is clearly an attempt at sex. If Casca had clearly not pushed him the fuck away, he would have been down. He would have been down to smash her. She doesn't even know what the fuck is going on, dude. He shouldn't even be thinking about fucking her. She's not in a fucking position where she can make her own decisions, dude. What the fuck? But now we go to his magnum opus of dog shittery, and that is, we already know, chapter 190. But no. Let's slow down. Let's talk about the chapter before this chapter, since you fuckboys want to keep pretending like this fucking bastard was possessed. Hold on. Chapter 189, Casca gets lost and randomly finds a group of random soldiers that are all men. And this being Berserk, you already know where this is headed. But Casca taps into her past self and is able to fend them off, which, you know, shows that she still has some access to her previous memories and all that. Pretty cool scene. I didn't think there was anything wrong with this. I thought this was okay. This is actually a pretty good scene for Casca. Then guess what happens? Guts sees her naked and with her sword and bloody, and he just can't control himself. He just can't control the urges. He just like, yeah, I need that. Keep in mind what poor Casca just went through, right? She just got essentially almost raped by a whole bunch of men and had to fight for her life. She went through a traumatizing experience, and not only that, it's probably even more traumatizing since she's out of her mind and doesn't know what the fuck is going on and can't, you know, think for herself. And she just naturally knew something was wrong and had to defend herself. This is the first time she's done anything like this since she lost her memory. So she's probably completely and totally afraid right now. And Guts doesn't even say like, Casca, are you all right? He doesn't try to console her. He doesn't try to get her some clothes. He doesn't, none of that. The first thing this dude looks at is her fucking titty. The second thing he looks at is her fucking pussy. And Casca can see the horniness in his fucking eyes. She puts the sword up to try to defend herself because she's like, bro, you're no fucking different than these guys who just tried to rape me. Like, get the fuck away from me, dude. And Guts, honestly, if he cared about her, he'd be hurt by this. He'd be like, oh my gosh, why do you think of me this way? I would never do this to you, Casca. But no, he instead looks at the blood dripping from her pussy again. Casca goes in for the kill. Guts defends himself, snatches the sword from her, knocks her on the floor, looks at her as she's screaming, clearly in duress, slams her arm to the ground, and puts his tongue down her throat. Where's the beast of darkness, guys? Where is it? Where's the beast? I don't see no beast. I don't see a beast anywhere. All I see is Guts and Casca. Where's the beast? Where is it? Now we go to chapter 190, and Guts continues his assault on Casca while she's fucking just standing there with her eyes planted upwards. He's licking down her chest and rubbing on her and grabbing her. She can't move. She's trying to free herself. He won't let her, and he's just hypnotized by her bloody titties, and she's totally in duress. And then the beast of darkness comes in, and then the beast of darkness says, yeah, rip her to shreds the way Griffith did, bite her in terror, rip her nipple. But before that, Guts was all on his own. Now, you guys can defend this horrible, terrible excuse for a person all you want, right? But I'm not defending this shit, right? And I don't even want to debate or discuss with anybody who finds this type of person or this type of behavior acceptable for a protagonist that you are supposed to root for. I'm supposed to be like, oh man, Guts, I hope he survives. I hope he wins this battle. I hope when he fights Griffith, he gets him, because Griffith is a really bad guy. No, I don't give a fuck. Guts could die today, and I'm going to sit there like, that little bitch got a throat. Fuck, I like the rock on this fit. My humor bitch like a wrist slit. Got like 3 bitches or more. I don't give a fuck about this dude. There's nothing redeemable about I don't care about Guts. I don't give a fuck. And I shouldn't, and you shouldn't, because he's a terrible human being. He deserves to die. I hope he dies. I hope so. Well, just because he's a terrible person doesn't mean he's not a good protagonist. What about Light? What about Walter White? Well, Oba actually knew what the fuck he was doing. So Light does horrible and irredeemable things all throughout Death Note, but never once are you expected to root for this motherfucker. Never once are you supposed to be like, I hope this motherfucker kills everyone. No, that's not the goal of Death Note. Death Note is to show how fucking far this motherfucker is willing to go and how fucking crazy he is and how much he thinks that he's right just because he has power and what power can do to people. That's what Death Note is about. It's not about rooting for the fucking shonen protagonist to whoop the bad guy's ass. Pretty much the same exact thing with Breaking Bad. Whereas Breaking Bad may seem like it's written for you to root for Walter White, I don't think you really supposed to do that. If you actually go back and watch the show, you can clearly see that the writers were writing Walter to be a villain, and they were actually surprised at several instances where people were still rooting for him because Walter did some irreprehensible, irredeemable things as well. But neither Walter nor Light ever did anything as bad as what Guts did to Casca. Because this motherfucker has no reason to treat her this way. He has no goal to be achieved from this. He's just a fucking asshole, man, and he's horny, and that's it. And if he see Casca naked, he deserves pussy. That's what Guts thinks. He doesn't care about how Casca feels. He doesn't care about the situation or what's going on in her head or anything. All he cares about is his fucking self. Fuck this guy. And yeah, Walter and Light, fuck both of them too. But I already knew that those stories were going to make those guys lose, and they did. But Berserk is not about to make Guts lose. That's not the way that this story is going. Maybe he'll die or some shit, self-sacrifice type shit at the end. And if he does, I'll cheer because it won't be a sad moment for me. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. He's trash. Indefensible character. All right, I'm done.